that we're actually experiencing right now, and it's part of the conversation that we'll be having today later on the fact that now we abuse the rights we have. Do I call it rights, or the freedom rather, the freedom we have with our phones, whereby now we get to see some content because we want to trend. It's fast-paced now, you know. You want to have the in thing, you want to be the person that people are talking about. So now it gets to a point where we don't know where to draw the line.
Yeah. That's quite, and we've picked that up from even a creator perspective. You'll see creators want to jump on trends. Not that it's a bad thing, it's a great thing for engagement, but it's also viewed very negatively by audiences. We call it engagement farming. And for creators, one thing we try to push and sustain is authenticity and, of course, consistency. So if you make content about food, for example, and something else is trending on topic, and you feel like you need to veer off that topic just so your video views can go up, then your audience picks up on that. And they're like, why are you doing this? So we try to push creators to stay authentic to themselves, authentic to their brand. That's the most important thing, because at the end of the day, it's about your audience and who you're talking to. As long as they're happy, they're engaged, and they relate to your brand, I think you're fine. So I think the line to creators should be that. Just stay authentic to what you've been good at, what you're known for. And
still on the same, Juliet, you know, even when you were talking about, when you were introducing this conversation, and you mentioned, you know, now with podcasts, people are not very limited as compared to us on TV or people on national radio stations and all of that. There are things you cannot say. So where do we also draw the line when it comes to that side? Because now, you literally can say anything. I don't think they are regulated.
I think it's to each his own. I mean, if you're listening to my podcast, if you're like my audience already, you already know who I am, you already know my personality, you already know how either prude or crazy or whatever that I am. So it wouldn't be judged as harshly. But now if you're a new audience, you might say, Juliet is a bit too much, or she's, you know. So it just depends. You know, sometimes when you listen to other podcasts, you just pick and choose, especially if you're a listener. The podcasts that I personally don't listen to because I feel like they're too much. And then the podcasts I listen to because I actually agree with the conversation, and they help in seeing a different perspective. You know, maybe it's a story about a particular thing. I never really thought about it like that, but I like how they think, right? So as a creator, if I'm having my own podcast, I'd say to each my own. I'm creating it for me, right? And I'm creating it to show the world about who I am. And it's, you know, I think like podcasts give you the space to, this is who I am. You like it or you don't, honestly. So it's just like when you are following a particular creator, you follow them because you like them. I mean, unless you're a hater, then you're following just to pick on things that I am doing. But other than that, it's you like who I am. So if you're listening to my podcast, you like the personality that I have and what I'm giving, and then that's what you follow. So I'm not really saying there should be a line. I mean, the creator themselves needs to create the line for themselves. You know, if I have a podcast, there are stories I won't give because I feel like that's too personal, or the world doesn't need to know that. But then there are people who, the same way other people don't have boundaries, maybe there are people who don't know where to draw the line. So yeah, you just have to pick and choose your creator that you're gonna follow.
So it's actually it's up to the consumer of the content to decide what works for you. So you're the one to sieve.
Yes, most definitely, because you can't absorb everyone and everything, you know. It's like you stand for something or you don't stand for anything. So you just get to choose who you're going to listen to, because I'm pretty sure like the creators you follow, and there's a reason that you follow them. And there are people that you see on your timeline and you don't even, you know, maybe you just don't like them, or like whatever content they create, you know, it doesn't resonate with you. It's just the same, you know, when you get to listen to my podcast or see my podcast reels and what I'm talking about. If it interests you, then you follow. If you don't, then I mean, there's an audience for everyone. You know, there are people who you like this thing and that's your audience, and there are people who like this other thing and that's my audience. So you just get to pick and choose, honestly.
Okay. So Levis, for someone who's looking to get into this space, that is the content creation space, and start their journey on there, maybe what should they be looking at in terms of the gadget they should be having, just for starts?
So a few pointers would be, even before we get to the gadget, try and learn a few of the workarounds in editing video, what audiences like we've established. But when it gets to selecting a device, a camera is number one, because I know podcasts exist, but even podcasts have transcended to a video direction currently. So camera is pretty important. High performance, so high CPU, RAM, all of that. High battery, and of course a lot of AI suits that come in a lot of mobile phones these days that will help you edit your video on the go.
All right, okay. So for someone who's looking to get into that space, you've heard it from Levis, the kind of phone you should be looking out for in order for you to start that. Now with Podfest, it's already begun. So if you can just tell us a bit about what you're looking at, what you are doing with that festival.
Okay, so Podfest is Kenya's podcast festival. We are a space and a platform to celebrate Kenyan podcasts, right? And also that is upcoming and mainstream. So we started in 2024, and this year we're doing something called Podfest Campus Tours, because actually the origin of Podfest was when I was in campus. I don't know about you guys, when you're in campus, you'll hang out with your friends. Maybe one of your friends is a music artist and he's shooting a video and you also want to be part of the video or something like that, you know, or that there's this pool of talented people that is untapped. So we are like, let's go to the campuses, because that's where Podfest began. Let's go to the campuses and see the creatives there, right? And it's not just entertainment purposes, it's networking amongst themselves. So this person is from BCom, this other person is from mechanical engineering or whatever. Oh, you have a podcast? Yes, I have a podcast. Come to my show, you come to my show, right? So networking amongst themselves, creative empowerment amongst themselves, and also bridging the gap between brands and also young people, right? And also assisting them in knowledge in terms of industry leaders. We usually have master classes, and partnering with people who are empowering the creatives in the space, right? Because we are now moving into a creative economy. You know, influencing and content creation was not a career a couple years ago, right? So people who want to get into the space, they need a space to learn. You know, you get to learn how to protect your stuff, how to make sure that your trademarking, like all this different knowledge that you wouldn't necessarily learn in a BCom class as a creator, and getting that space, and also creative empowerment, and also a platform for uplifting creators, and just really telling them that keep at it. You know, most people, you know, for example, like the BNs and the whatnot, they have so many years of work behind them. You know, you're just seeing somebody who has blown up, but they didn't blow up today. They've put so many years of work behind it. So it's just like, keep at it, keep going, keep going, keep going. Someday it will come for sure. Yeah, so that's what Podfest is about, uplifting creators all around. We mostly focus on podcasts, but we also have like music artists and some comedians. Yeah.
And I like that. And maybe to you, Levis, you know, with that, you know, with what they're doing, maybe why is it so important for us to maybe begin there rather than just work with the podcasters who are already there? You know, of course, some of them are also in university and all, but what's the relevance of beginning from there, capturing the campus
young
students?
Audience. So for us, it's quite important. If we go back to even our R&D at Suwon, a lot of our phones are geared to the creator. So, and that's why I had started with positioning everyone as a creator, but these are phones that are geared to camera, AI, performance, everything that a creator needs in their pocket. And I'm glad you mentioned this, because I was thinking about like many years ago when content creators started coming up. Around 2010, that was the era. And you'd think about recording a video, sitting down, shooting a video. You have to script it, you have to shoot it. Let's say Saturday, you're a student. So in class from Monday to Thursday or Monday to Friday, so you're pretty packed. You do your video Saturday, but then you're limited on the editing time, because editing takes a while. You have to use suits like Adobe Premiere Pro, all of this. So what we did is simplify that process. And the reason we're talking to the students is we understand there's a creative outlet that they need to share with the world. And we want to tell them, instead of focusing on editing full-time, we can simplify that process for you with our devices. So you focus on more things that matter, like family, friends, those moments that add more value to your life. Not that this doesn't, but it just it just simplifies your life and your career. You focus on your studies more, and you use our device as your companion to help elevate you. So that's why speaking to those students is quite important for us.
And one may ask, maybe, how do I know what good content is? Speaking from a creator's perspective, and it's a creator who's looking to now get into the space, how do I know what content should I focus on? When you're on a sema squeeze, gani ndo inakula?
I think it just depends on what your individual passions are, like what you want to talk about. Again, this is the individual sharing their personal moments and their views with the world. And that passion, I think, translates very well on camera and in your content. So people will come. I think when you're starting out, there's always this pressure to feel like you have to compete with someone with 1 million views. And that creates a barrier in a lot of young creators' minds. But that's what we're trying to remove. We're trying to tell them, you're welcome to this field. All you have to do is talk about your passions, what you love, what you want to share with people, and you will find an audience. And you know, it's the most important thing is focusing on you and what you believe in, and your audience will come. And that way you grow your community.
So just be you.
And just to add on that, I think there's this debate of, do I post what I want to post and the audience will come, or do I post what the audience wants to listen to, right? Or wants to see. And there's that debate. And then I think some creators, they feel the need to be perfectionists, right? There's somebody who has 20 videos in their drafts, still trying to debate which, the lighting, which one, the sound, the what. I mean, and then there's also like, maybe I love cooking, and then I also love music, I also love dancing, I also love fashion, but I don't know which one will do well, right? And you have, because most people would like to say they're multifaceted, right? And I have all these different passions, but I don't know what I want to create content around. I feel like, or maybe what I can tell people is, all those facets that you're interested in, post about it. And don't be so fixated on whether this looks good or whether that looks good, right? And you have to find a balance between what the audience wants to see and what you want to post, right? Because sometimes, you know, if you focus a lot on what the audience wants to see, there's that creator fatigue, because I really don't like posting this, I really don't like creating this content, but then I have to do it because, you know, if you're in content creation, you don't have to do anything, you know, you don't have to clock in at 8 like a normal job. So, I mean, you have to find that balance, right? And then post everything about the different facets, and then just see which one resonates the most. And then keep doubling down on that. But if you also want to share this other part of you that is probably not doing very well compared to this others, but you still want to do it, then be doing it, but double down on whatever is doing better.
So you don't really need to have a niche, or having a niche is important. There's the question of that. You know, if I'm this multifaceted person that you're talking about, can I just be creating everything? You know, I'm doing food content, I'm also doing my lifestyle content, I'm also doing my fashion content, I'm doing, you know. So is it important for one to have a niche, or you don't really need to have one if you don't have one?
I think there's also that debate. Everyone is, oh, you need to find a niche, you need to find a niche. Well, I personally, but I am no expert, so don't quote me. I'd say post everything, but it's very important to be known for one thing, right? So let Julia be known because she has a podcast. But if you come to my page, you'll find this, you'll find that, you'll find this. But my main content, now you see, whatever is I'm doubling down on is what I want to be known for.
We have a commercial break. Let's take that, and then we'll come back to continue with the conversation. Do not go too far. We'll be back in a bit.
kienzi cha KBC Radio Taifa kitakuletea tamasha kubwa la Rumba Night mjini Kakamega katika klabu ya Havana Lounge. Kikosi kizima cha KBC Radio Taifa kikiongozwa na Mfumo Kimbangu aka Mzairwa kitatua Kakamega kukutana na kusherehekea pamoja na wasikilizaji wake. Hafla hii itang'oa nanga Ijumaa tarehe 24 na Zinga Live pale Hetia Supermarket Kakamega kuanzia saa 2 hadi saa 4 asubuhi. Kisha tuelekee Emusala Special School eneo bunge la Lurambi na Malava Special Unit eneo bunge la Malava. Baadaye mida ya jioni tutajumuika Havana Lounge kwa tamasha la Rumba Night. Jumamosi tarehe 25 tutakuwa kwenye tamasha la Ramani ya Kiswahili pamoja na mwalimu Mathias Momanyi katika shule ya upili ya wasichana ya Butere. Jiunge nasi tutengeneze kumbukumbu pamoja na Radio Taifa, sauti ya Mkenya. Kukosa ni makosa.
Nice.
Let's now welcome Team ZGDA.
We are the Davons, and then one of the service, and we sat next to each other.
Hivi ulikuwa umemnotice venye mlikanisha?
No. We wacha. Anasemanga I ghosted him for like 3 months or so.
This time I find a wife. I'm not letting her.
For me, also he wasn't among the people I would date typically.
We planned the first engagement, it fails.
Like he's very romantic. The first time they came in kwa introduction, walikasirikiana. Our wedding was so beautiful. My dress.
So haujai kuwa na challenge yake akiweka masocks sijui wapi?
Never.
Nikianza kukuja nguo lazima ati.
We're expectant this year.
And we're back. Thank you for staying with us. Before we took that break, we were talking about whether a creator should have their own niche or just allow themselves to be, you know, by creating everything else. You were speaking on that.
Yeah, well, as I was saying, I feel like you should do a lot of things, and this is just my personal opinion, but you should be known for one major thing, right? Whether that is yapping, you know, these days there's a yapping.
Just be the yapper.
Yeah, you're the yapper, but I also do some lifestyle, right? Or I cook, but I also do a little bit of dancing, or I do fashion, but I'm also gonna do a little bit of lifestyle. Like, you need to be known for one thing, right? But you can also integrate other things, because we are multifaceted. Why hide that away from the world, right?
Yeah, and you know, still on the same, maybe you can weigh in on that as a brand that also picks on, you know, influencers to work with. Should I have a niche, and is that important when you guys are picking, are scouting for who should work for your brand? Do you actually just look at, you know, you try and find out whose niche, which niche does this person, you know, have?
I do think I agree with you at some extent, but you see, when you embark on a content journey and you're speaking on a passionate topic, the niche tends to come out. You tend to lean in one side more than the other. So when we're scouting for new creators to work with, we do look at that. We call them passion points, actually. And we've segmented them into 6 main passion points, including food, fashion, beauty, that kind of thing. So you can do multiple things as a multifaceted person, but then your audience and community is there for one special thing at the end of the day. Then that builds the niche. So it's welcome to do multiple things. I do agree.
So I'm stuck on the passion points, and I want to speak on behalf of maybe a creator who's aiming or working towards working with your brand. You mentioned the 6 passion points. So which are they for someone who's looking to align themselves?
We look at fashion, beauty, food, travel, photography, and music. So those are the 6 key passion points we look at. We're not just stuck on those 6. We also have other categories. So even comedy, it's not a key passion point for us as a brand, but it's also something we consider. We've worked with multiple comedians in the past. So those are the 6 guided by a global guide that we look for, but we're also welcome to empowering other categories as well. But we just don't limit it to the passion point. We also look at things like an audience size. So we have multiple tiers of creators that we place them in, starting from the nanos to the micros, macros, heroes, and icon, to other things like, more important things like engagement rate. Since we do want to see, that gives us a clear guide of how well your content performs and how it's appreciated by your audience. So the higher the engagement rate based on your tier, because we don't distribute the engagement rate equally per tier. So based on that, we can tell how well our content will do on your platform. So how you engage with your audience is quite important for us.
So for someone with just 1,000 followers, they still can be able to work with big brands.
Absolutely.
As long as they have followers who are engaging with their content.
Absolutely. Because you see the 1,000 followers, it looks small on paper, but if you put 1,000 people in a room, that's many people. That's a huge audience you're addressing. So it just depends on how you've built your community and how well your community perceives you in return. And I would like to encourage creators to reply to those comments, because brands are looking at that as well. So if you get the comments and you're not replying, then it seems that you're not engaging your audience actively. And that's something brands really do care for.
Got you.
Yeah.
Had it. You've had it from him. Now, you've already done how many campuses, and which one specifically?
Okay, so we had our first campus tour on 11th June with KCA, and then we were just in USIO for their media week. We had our panel discussion talking about creativity and the future of creatives as an African creative. We have upcoming dates. We have Kenyatta University, KU. We also have JQuat lined up, and also USIU. We're also going to be having a workshop with them again during the September, October, November semester. So very exciting. And this is just the beginning. We want to tour all different units across Kenya between this year and next year. And we're out there looking for creatives in these spaces and see the talent that is there, for sure.
So what activities happen when you go for these tours?
Okay, so the main thing is live podcast recordings. So we usually have like registration forms for the students that is sent out across the student body. They get to sign up, and then we get to vet them, and then we get to choose the people who are gonna be selected for doing live podcast recordings. And then there's also performing artists and comedians, right? And then we also have master classes and panel discussions or speaking opportunities for brands, the ones that will join us on board for the tour. And then we also have the last part, small different activations that are exciting just for creative empowerment. We should be finalizing, so I'll take your final remarks. I'll begin with you.
Okay, just a word to the new upcoming creators. If you have jitters about starting, just start. You never know what the world holds. Just build that community and build that audience.
All right, Juliet.
My last words would be, there's only one you in this world, and if you want to share it, because it's a short life. It's a long life, but a short one. So you should at least share what you want to share with the world about yourself and who you are, because there's no one like you. And your perspective is different. So shine your light to the world, as the Bible says, I guess.
I love that. Perfect way to end this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us and for shedding light on this topic. It was a pleasure hosting you on the show. Now, this is where we end this conversation. But remember, Entertainment Thursday gets to continue. My DJ will be ensuring that you are having fun, so put your dancing shoes on. We have one more conversations and then we'll get straight into music. Alafu, remember, you can also be able to send in your requests and my DJ will be working with your schedule. Do I say your schedule? Yeah. So whatever song you want to listen to, just get to send us a WhatsApp message on the same. The number is 0707 303 212. 0707 303 212. We'll be back after the short break.
My baby,
vale anatafuta kitita picha kisafisha maybe anaweza shika mita kwa advice vale nikakuchezea mbuzi kita yeah ring the alarm aluta station number 1 mashisho usiku watagwan macho ni chingu Jackie Chan mini skirt and a run nice smoke for lungs and a burn hard run cash go brave in the air messy push it up pressure and you know what I mean.
The Messenger.
Kiingia ni kublast huko ngabado unachukua madam so anguka nao itabaki umeflow na vibe anguka nao koko single for now tujishinda gris mteja patikani hadi late night saa 6 ndo taniwai nikupe location alikofana na hii tujishasikia niko chomba ya G mimi najua utakuwa irizo reels acha nikushow kwanza form ya Didon nishashika mpoa na twende chini kwa chini akiwa hadi na mimi sasa tunasikiza Shin City tuna feel free teka video na post pale NGC jina ni Kantel Kurap ni talent G anguka nao check it anguka nao twende down low now stand up to your feet mikono juu alafu click uliza pesa alafu one leg anguka nao one leg anguka nao anguka nao anguka nao anguka nao anguka nao kama uko na new
Pushman, pedi wa magenge Kanairo, mademu wanajipa kata ito tunachamba kiform na kibairo tukiviral yo Kanairo, mademu wanajipa kata ito tunachamba kiform na kibairo pedi wa magenge nilitoa kienyeji moshada juka Nairo slay queen blanda lakini Delela ni nani hata siku 2 ashajua kustaga alipewa ball na kafundishwa kuchana hadi saya nanyonyesha na kojaba nilipull up machokodo kwa blinded nikapatana na Superman minded kupiga duka kaanza kunikemea nika ubongi ganji na nitembea ai mademu wa Kanairo kuna wengine wanapenda Python ai mademu wa Kanairo ukiwaona picha nao kama Simon Kanairo mademu wanajipa kata ito tunachamba kiform na kibairo tukiviral mademu wanajipa kata ito tunachamba kiform na kibairo tukiviral
Daddy, me I praise you. Daddy, Father God, me I praise you. Daddy, nakusifu, give me Yesu. Falme, falme. Daddy, hallelujah. Okay, sifa zote. Yahweh, give me Yesu. Falme, falme. Daddy, hallelujah. Okay, sifa zote.
Msema ngwenda kasera toto kikena ni bamba na ni we niko mavitu neza shukisha na we kama ni sema tuendele shani kadia ni kame fall pungulu ako magode mini niko mabungulu ashajileta disha za machubulu chutikali ni pimaga kafurisha chululu shani kadia ni kame fall pungulu ako magode mini niko mabungulu ashajileta disha za machubulu chutikali ni pimaga kafurisha chululu niko riko papa ashali ya fantasy shiki kiche fani wacha maneno weka muziki sindo wabaya hizo zingine waga kiki maheta washage kama shabiki unakuja mbio sana ukirudi utakuwa kaguru mkono ikiwa chini kiuno ikiwa juu nikishika nitazama ndani chubulu na nijiona nisikia ama hauna kulu damu kaskari nguru mekanika ni ya story ya maskuru imebamba sana tusitoke juu sasa tutaduzi tubebe zikishika nguka pungulu shani tadia ni kame fall pungulu ako magode mini niko mabungulu ashajileta disha za machubulu chutikalini pimaga kafurisha chululu shani kadiani kame fall pungulu ako magode mini niko mabungulu ashajileta disha za machubulu chutikalini pimaga kafurisha chululu awe kanuna wazim kwanu umepandwa na wazim na mazim kwanu na wazim kwanu unalio unanitaka kwanu na wazim kwanu umepandwa na wazim awe kwanu na wazim unawatika zile pilka za kupita nilikuta sister Rita nikawita zile za kitsa ni aje sister kaza tuni size nikameona Batista 2 months down sana shinda kini text na deni mimi tu she can't fuck to the rest anasema kakorinde takukua mistress super pasi kanisa mbono na confess kwanza unanibo spendi vile unanifuatilia unanibo na nikatsi unanibo unanibo hatuna lio na nitaka we kwanu na wazim kwanu umepandwa na wazim na mazim kwanu na wazim kwanu unalio na nitaka
Checking on my timeline, been reading between the lines, trying to get something that's mine. Told me to sit down and then your love is so amazing, been here on the dazing. The way you love me, Lord, you say that your love is the strongest chord. I don't wanna be an odd and out, I'm about to fight this bout. With you there's no doubt, you are the one I'll be thinking about. You got me practicing on my flow, you told me to take it slow. I'd be here thinking of you.
Feel like praising, feel like saying your name, how holy you are, how mighty you are. I feel like praising, feel like saying your name, how holy you are, how mighty you are.
I'm dazed about your love, the one that comes from above. You say that it is finished, on the cross my sin vanished. Your blood was the covenant, I'll be searching, I'm so adamant. Jesus, you are my first love, you set me free like a dove. Wipe all of my tears, you remove all my fears. You are the strong tower, you blossom like a new flower. How amazing is praising you. I know where I'd be without you. With you I'm more than a conqueror. You removed all of the terror. You made me a strong man, got rid of the error. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
I feel like praising, feel like saying your name, how holy you are, how mighty you are. I feel like praising, feel like saying your name, how holy you are, how mighty you are.
I keep on lifting your name, you are like no other.
And that is Kaki the Poet, or you can also call him Kaki Bila Mshikaki. And that is exactly where I want us to start this conversation. Kaki, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having
Tuanze
me.
na hiyo jina, Kaki Bila Mshikaki. What was the whole inspiration behind that name?
My name is Kaki. Kaki is how people know me, but for my name, my real name is Kingori. So when I was growing up, my elder brother called me Kaki because he could not say the full name. So when I started poetry, I chose the name and I stuck with it. So Kaki Bila Mshikaki, the first Kaki rhymes with the last Kaki, so it's poetic. Kaki Bila Mshikaki. Yes.
So it's just you being a poet.
Yes, yes.
There's no specific idea behind it.
You know, some people say me, you can say Bila Mshi or Bila Mshikaji or Bila what, but sometimes I tell them, when I say Bila, you can say without the stick or without anything, but it have different meanings, but it's just the poetic name.
All right.
Yes.
So, Kaki the Poet, I want us to get to understand your journey to becoming the poet that you are right now. So maybe what are your earliest memories of poetry? When did you first experience poetry?
I can say the first time I experienced poetry was in high school, but I started doing choruses when I was in primary school.
Okay.
I used to perform at praise giving days, prayer days. Back in primary school, I had a Kiswahili teacher who was very good in arts and co-curricular activities. He's the one who ignited the passion in me.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that is where it all began.
Yes.
Yeah, and I read that you're actually writing your own pieces for performances at the school festivals.
Yes.
Nice. That is good to know. So now you also play the guitar.
Yes.
And you'll pick your guitar in a bit. Not right now, but you'll pick it in a bit so that you get to also give us a piece with it as well. When did you pick the guitar?
First, I stumbled to an old guitar in my home. It was for my guka, my grandpa. He used to play guitar. I never knew, almost over 40 years ago. So when I stumbled to an old guitar in the store, that's when my passion for guitar started. Yes.
Yeah. Now, poetry as an industry on its own in Kenya, wewe unaweza sema ukiwa unairate, unaweza irate wapi on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being we're still struggling and 10 being we're good and we are where we should be?
I can say 5. Because I can't say the progress that have been made on poetry. There are huge strides that have been made, but you're not there. So I can say in the middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is remaining for us to fill up the remaining 5?
Remaining 5 is people start appreciating art. Yesterday I was talking to a person, he was telling me that poetry is for intelligent people because you find people jam along to many music, but poetry, it requires intelligent people to grasp the wordplay or anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, what do you think about that? Is it true? I mean, when you say the person mentioned that poetry is only for intelligent people.
Because when you do poetry to a normal person, you are saying, what are you saying? They'll ask you, what are you saying? Because they don't know the stylistic devices, or they don't know the wordplay, they don't know the rhyming, they don't know things like onomatopoeia and things like those that we used to read back in high school. So they don't know those things when you do assonance, consonants, things like those.
Yeah.
They're wondering, what are you doing? Because sometimes they say there are different levels of artistry, but in every artist there's a different type of, let me not say badly, but there's a different crazy frenzy in a person, in a different artist that is different from the art form that I'm doing. Yes, so each particular poet or each particular spoken word artist has a particular type of frenzy in themselves.
Yeah.
Yes, so to understand it, you have to be a poet first or to be a poet lover so that you can understand.
Can one learn poetry? You know, as you said, to understand you need to be a poet or a poet lover.
Yes.
Can one learn to become a poet, or would you say that this is just a gift that one is born with?
One can learn to become a poet because sometimes I was listening to a person, they were writing poetry on their time when they are faced with depression, or a person, you lose a loved one, you lose the loved one, or you lose someone who you love. Sometimes when you go through a difficult situation, you find yourself writing. You can write. Some people who write a lot of journals. Those people who are journaling, maybe they are good poets. People who journal a lot, maybe they are good poets, we don't know. People who write about how their day went, how their situation went. Yes, they can be good poets, but maybe you can find they have a lot of love for writing.
Yeah.
But it can be channeled into a different art form to be poetry, or you can channel it to become prose, or to write a book, or to write a novel, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So does it have to rhyme and have all this, the consonants and all of that for it to be poetry? If I'm a good writer, I can just say I'm a spoken word artist, and which is also part of being a poet.
It has to have the rules, but when it comes to spoken word is when you break the rules of poetry. But when it comes to poetry, it have to have the rules of poetry. But for spoken word, we don't. Yes, we follow the rules of poetry, but we don't have to follow all the rules per se.
Okay.
Yes.
So there's a difference between a spoken word artist and a poet.
Yes, because you can say it's spoken word poetry, but it's still poetry, but done in a different way. Yes, not the normal. Let me say, you remember in Kiswahili when we used to do the shairi, malenga, how they used to kariri the mashairi. That's poetry. That's ushairi. That's ushairi for you. That's poetry for you, because they had to sing the poem. They had to sing or kariri the poem so that it becomes the poem. But when you come to spoken word, you can perform it in a unique way that is not conversant with the people who are normally
listen to normal poetry. Yes.
So when it comes to the entertainment industry, we get to have several events that are usually set up whereby we get to experience different artists performing and all of that. Do we have, or would you say that we are incorporating poets enough in this kind of events? And if these events are there, where exactly do they happen? Do we have stages for poets? I know the Poetry After Lunch at KNT, it happens, I believe, weekly. So are there other spaces for poets, for a poet who may be watching and wondering, now where should I be going to perform?
The other spaces like for poetry, like usually we host the Poetry Spot at All Saints Cathedral every second Friday of the month. From 5:30 to 8:30. Also, the other poets, like there's Poetic Sound, which happens every month at Roasters, Ubunifu Space. There's also other poetry shows, like now, like we have people embracing poetry because there's a whole restaurant for poetry, Hoyo's Kitchen and Poetry in Kilimani. It's a whole restaurant that appreciates poetry. So it's a whole restaurant appreciating poetry. Sometimes we have spaces for performance like Creative Garage. We had Power 254, but they moved to Kilimani. So we have places that used to appreciate art form. So it's about having the regular poetry events, and also for people to see that poetry is an art form, like music. Poetry is an art form. When you compare rap, rhythm and poetry, that's poetry. Rap, people who rap, that's poetry. So it's music. Even when you listen to your music, you can see it's poetic. So it's people appreciating it that's a poetry form, because sometimes I hear some poets are even on Spotify. They're being streamed because they are poets. They don't need to have the backtrack or something. Just a simple soundtrack and your poetry goes.
So you've actually mentioned quite a number of spaces. So these spaces are actually there. They are available for poets to just go and they'll get a stage to perform to an audience. For a budding poet, you know, how can they be able to maybe keep up with being able to know that there's this maybe event that will be happening, there's this other one that they can be able, is there one platform, or that is also maybe where it's like...
For budding poets now, it's kind of, we used to have groups in Facebook and things like those, but for now we have, like recently we have a new WhatsApp group it's called Poetic Comrades Forum. So in here we channel poets, we come together as poets and unite as a voice as a poets, because recently we realize when artists are not united, they can't go far. So we have to unite as poets so that we can sell our agenda. When you want to sell our agenda, it will be easier than me going as a solo artist. I say, I want this, they will not listen to me. But when you go together as a community of poets, people will start listening to you.
Okay. I see many poets, you know, incorporating music in their poetry. I mean, you also have a guitar. I'm sure you also do the same, and you'll be picking that guitar in a moment rather. So, you know, would you say that that is how people in Kenya, or that is how the consumers of your art prefer it to be? What is encouraging you to decide, you know, I'll need to have some rhythm to it?
Okay, so for poetry, I can say when it's done prose without instrument, it delivers more because people listen to you. They listen to you more keenly. But when I add rhythm or strings, people start listening to the guitar more than listening to the poetry. So we add strings so that to elevate the flavor of the poetry. Poetry is not, how can I say, it's not edible for the ears without some music, but when poetry is done raw, it's edible for the audience. When it's done raw, people, like, for example, there's a certain poet who was the Slam King last year, Slam poet. He used to perform and the whole room becomes silence. So people used to understand how does he capture the whole room to become silent. People are listening, they're getting into the poetry. You don't hear snaps or anything, but people have already been immersed into the poetry. So that's why I can say when it's done prose without instrument is the best. But when you add instruments and things, it's just adding some little flavor to the poetry.
All right, okay. I'll now request you to take your guitar Just take your guitar, it's okay, you can just go take it, and then we'll be getting to listen to you just do your thing with the guitar. You can give me the microphone. We'll have that. Then we get to experience Kaki, the poet, doing his thing as we finalize on this conversation so that we can officially get into that request hour. I hope you've been sending in your requests. The number has been on your screen throughout. That is 0707 303 212. That is the number that you can send us a WhatsApp message with the request of the song that you would like our DJ to play for you. Before you get to play, maybe one last question. What inspires your poetry when it comes to the writing?
Mostly I can say personal experiences, and also conversation from friends, like hearing conversation from friends. And also sometimes I'm a very observant person. So sometimes I can go to a restaurant and just sit down and observe people. I just sit down, observe people, or I enter matatu, I go and sit at the back.
Yeah.
I observe people, how they're entering, how they are doing things, or things like those. So I'm very observant. I observe things a lot. Yes. So from an observant point of view, personal experiences. And also if I choose a particular theme, I can choose a theme that to challenge me. You know, sometimes I write poetry in certain themes, but certain themes which challenge me a lot. Yes.
Where do they find you on social media?
On TikTok, it's at Kaki Bila Mshikaki. On Instagram, it's Kaki Bila Mshikaki. YouTube is Kaki Poet, K-A-K-I-P-O-E-T. And X is Kaki Poet 1. X is Kaki Poet 1. You can follow me on all social media platforms. Yes.
All right, take it away.
Yes. Weni msupa kama show bigi ni kuite super juu superstar you are kwangu meni win weni star kwa movie una act yangu bila wewe sio nifaa. Love ni essence na wewe, love ni suspense bila wewe. Pingazi la maisha nataka ukue wangu, pingazi la maisha nataka ukue passion ya maisha. Napenda passion juice, sijui nikunywe. Napenda passion juice, unanikunywa. Saa mimi niko hapa, mimi ni wako. Machali ingine ukulezi, yani ukulevako. Kama siku wa bunge wako. Kwa tenje, kuna sauti nyororo. Unanikaba koo na nyororo. Sauti ya ninga sijui nikuite malaika. Julaika alimba favorite song. Mi na wewe tukising along. Mimi ni king, na wewe ni king kwa hii throne. Kama King X's alipata Esther. Kama nikupray na kufast, I'll fast for you. Nataka kwa place, yani ndakusi. Maybe nikusi uko ndani ya sea, in a nutshell. Tuko na pamoja uko ndani ya ocean. May kuna bees kwa tree. Nitahang around hapo maybe. Juu kwa mzinga kuna queen bee. Hawezi kuwa machine. Juu sitaki mwingine ila wewe kidosho. Sabdoli tu hapo kwa orosho. Doli tu hapo kwa orosho. Nataka ukue wangu. Mimi na wewe hadi kwa hiyo wingu. Wingu la moto ilikuwa show hapo NTV. NTV yani notorious, tenacious, vicious. Nikikupata utakuwa victorious. Victory utapata yani ukiingia box. Alafu nipeleke ox yani ng'ombe kwenyu. Nipeleke kwenye yani ndo ikue mahari. Nipeleke kwenye yani ndo nikumari. Niko place ina hari. Hari alikuwa besti yangu alinikari kwa cab yani Uber. Tukimalizia kama buba. Kama buba. Boy ni kubalance kama balance. Simple boy. Sinaongea kama simple boy. Dragon mark testing. Na kucheza kama toe. Niko place nataka kuwe mlezi yani ukwe mama. Sijaketi hapa so nimesi mama. Baba yuko hapa yani si mama. Nataka place yani utakuwa umefeel relax. utafika place utakuwa umefikia umechillax. Na run hizi si za Nairobi, so I run streets na spoken word. Song yangu itakuwa imepika pitch perfect kama mimi na wewe na Ed Sheeran. Ani maneno yangu open my heart kaki bila mshikaki.
Alrighty, you get to snap. Thank you so much, Kaki, for being here. And remember, you can find Kaki across all social media platforms. Kaki bila mshikaki or Kaki the Poet. We take a break and then we get back to the music, and I can see your requests have started coming in. Maybe just to read 3 of them as we take that break. We have someone who has requested for Don't Be Shy, ya bien. All right, the DJ has heard that. And then we have another one saying, hi, reaching you from Nairobi. DJ, please nicheze dance Yamawa. Inaitwa Yamawa kweli? Samawa. It's dance Samawa. Yeah, so DJ amekupata, amekuelewa, tumekuelewa usijali. Dance Samawa. And then someone else has a message for Kaki and he's saying, wewe ni star, keep it up. Ambula, and I'm tuning in from Tanzania. To all our viewers from Tanzania, big up on yourself. Let's take that break.
My name is Catherine, and in April, I was in a program called Kelele Comics, and my group and I, we made a comic called Behind the Words She Span.
As I was walking in the library today, I found a book that has its alphabet dedicated to Africa. Yes, the book is A is for Africa.
Funny frogs flip fast for 5 flies.
And today, I'm going to show you how to make dumplings.
Vita sasa ni vya nini?